What's up, guys? This is Tascione with Cymatics, and I'm gonna walk you through my my demo song that I made for my artist series pack. And yeah, we decided to re-release it with the project file, so you guys could download that and sift through that, and I don't know, peek into what I did and kind of take whatever you want. So first, I'm gonna play you the song, and then we'll dive into each part of it, and I'll tell you how I did it. Alright, so you guys get the idea. It basically just goes into the same drop as before. So yeah, I'm really stoked on this one. I think the songwriting came out really well. So first, I guess we will take a look at the synths, because that's just obviously the main element. So let me unfreeze a lot of these. Hopefully let me make sure my sample rate's up, or my buffer size is up. Alright, so yeah, I'll unfreeze these. Alright, so I'll just play just the synths for you real quick. Just we'll go over this intro part just right here. Alright, so we'll start from the top. So these are chords. This is one of my favorite chord patches that I've made for most of my future bass style stuff. And this is just you know, typical big saws. So you know, I got the unison up 16, and I have this detune macro set, so I can adjust how much detune there is. So I have it all the way up, which is I think the default usually is halfway up. And then LFO rate, I have this flanger macro on there just to adjust the mix of the flanger. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Depends what kind of mood I'm in. This macro, I call it Sparkle, and it basically just adds, where is it? Oh, I just have it adding some high end. So I just have it, you know, boosting it a tiny bit. So anyway, there's that. I really like that patch. These are the fake strings from the Future Bass pack. And this is the low bass preset from the Future Bass pack as well. I love layering like everything with this underneath. It just gives the whole track a lot of warmth and makes it a lot thicker, and it just, you know, it's just really solid. It just makes the low end very, very nice. And this is some stuff I freeze and flattened just because I did. I don't know. Sometimes I like doing it, so you almost are forced to go with that. You can't just keep going in and tweaking it, but with just this Pluck preset. So yeah, these are just like top synths I had. And then, alright, I guess that's pretty much it for the intro synths. We'll get into the drop. So it hits there's a brass hit on the one. So this is the Cymatics brass shots from the Savage Pack, which I love. They're just so perfect. So this is like one of the best tricks, is I love reversing sounds into that. So that's why I cut this horn right here. So you could see I cut it there, and then I dragged it right over here, and then double click on that and reverse, and there you go. It's a nice little reverse into your horn. Alright, so that horn hits on the one. And then this is a patch this is one of my favorite patches I made. Bernie Flangers. Go Bernie. No, I'm just kidding. So you notice how I get that really like quick chop is I have the auto pan. It's automated on for the first half. 16th notes. So what you can do with the auto pan is, I'll recreate this real quick. I forget who showed me this, but a lot of people think the auto pan is for panning right and left. So if this is it's not necessarily for that. So what you can do is you take the phase and you set it to 0, and it just becomes like a volume shaper. So I had it on 16th notes, and you take this shape and it makes it square. So then I'll automate it down for that. Should be. Yep, same thing. Sounds good though. And this patch is yeah, a lot of FMing going on. I love automating the sync going into the oscillator that's being FM'd. So that's like another one of my favorites. A little bit of sub, flanger filters, giving it its pitch. So yeah, that's always fun. Then the effects, band reject to just make it a little valley. And I have the mix only about 2/3 of the way up. A little bit of hyper, or a lot of bit of hyper apparently. Oh, the mix is like pretty far down. And some multi-man. So that's what that is. And now this Pluck is sick. I love this one. You can actually get this Ableton Rack as a free download on Cymatics' website. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting that, because this is 4 sounds stacked on top of each other and panned out. So this one's 21 left, this was 27 right, this is to the right, and this is center. So basically what this is this is a reverb snare. This is just a percussive sound. It's another percussive sound, and this is another snare. So basically I just took a bunch of like snares and perks and I tuned them. So you can see when I play this, when I play C, that should say C. So but that didn't come standard as C. So I actually bumped that one up 7 semitones to make sure that it was, see if I bring it down 4, it's at A. So I put that at 7, and then I actually put this up 24 cents just to make sure it was exactly C. So all of these are at C right now. So they're all being played, and you can make melodies with them. So everything is perfectly tuned. So after that, I have grain delay, which gives it that little like flam. So yeah, you can hear that when you turn it off, it's just hitting once, but when you turn it on, there's like a more quiet hit that happens right after the first hit that gives it a sort of like nightmarish vibe. And also inside the MIDI, I have the main melody, and then I duplicated it and dropped it an octave lower to give it some kind of lower feels. This is just a layered synth I put underneath it. So this is one of the synths from my sample pack. So it's just this little kind of this bit crushed pluck that I made that I like really, really love. I made it in my track Never with Holly, and I just have been using it all the time. And this is another one. So yeah, that is also from my track Never with Holly. And yeah, that's basically the oh wait, here we go. These are some more of my synths. That's from my track Lights Out, which I love that synth. I always use it all the time, but I rendered it out for you guys. And then the future bass part. So then over top of it, I have an ARP. So both of these together. And yeah, basically repeats. Oh, this piano thing I really love too. Yes. So basically I'm just taking this one chord, which is a G minor, and I'm going. So notice that this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if your G is your 1, your A sharp is your 2, your D is your 3, and your higher G is 4, it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, because this is just an octave up from the A sharp, and then 3, 4, 2, 3. Yeah. And then the same thing here. Yep. So that was fun to make. I think it added like a nice little touch to it. And that's just the piano inside of Ableton. The grand piano preset, which is just like awesome. I love that one. And then it goes into the future bass part. This is a oh geez, that's like a little top layer I made for it, and this is the main chords of it. Yeah, so right before I have I go to the drop too. I love using bass clefs easy wash out. You can get that on it's just like a Ableton Rack somebody made, and it just gives, it's really good for transitions. So you can watch this automation happen, and you can kind of see right here, it'll wash it out and kind of start low cutting and adding a ton of reverb. So I'll expand this so you can kind of see what it is. Grain delay, auto filter low cutting, reverb, EQing, filter delay. Yeah, it's a super awesome tool. All right, so those are the synths. These are the drums. Drums are pretty basic. So I have the kick, I have put a utility on the kick, and I'm just automating the volume up because I didn't want it to come in super hot. Have the claps doing the same. Then I have this little drum loop. Here I took a snare and I just pitched it, so it became a little melody. Alright, so basically I have two drum builds over top of each other right here. And so also another cool trick that I love to do is I have the normal kicks here, which are side chaining everything, but when the kicks get really fast, I put them on a new track so they're not side chaining everything, because I don't want everything pumping like super fast. So then yeah, I have my kick pattern, and then I love doing this, just making a little ride pattern for underneath. Pretty sure, yeah, I have ride 7, ride 13, 2 different rides. Then I put the crashes underneath it. Yeah, so I have 3 snares. So this is snare 1. That's always what I sidechain to. I just love sidechaining to like a quick snare. And that's my big reverb snare. And then this is the little off snare that goes pop, pop. So yeah, all together, because I believe that's all of the drums. Oh, and these fills. These are just tom fills from either the Savage pack or the Terror kit, the Terror drums. But either way, all the fills are amazing. Yeah, so I actually took the beginning of Tom Fill 19 and I just kind of put it together with the rest of these, and I liked how it sounded. Yep, and that pretty much repeats itself right there. And then we'll get into the sub. Sub is very self-explanatory as well. So yeah, I like to use audio as my sub because you can drag it as short as you want, you could fade it, and you just transpose it there. And it's, I don't know, it's just, I'm pretty visual with looking at the sub as an audio waveform. So that's that. So on here, I just am high cutting a little bit, and sometimes these higher pitched sub notes kind of get louder than the lower ones. So I just put a compressor on there and put the ratio at infinity, do a real short attack, and I just set the threshold so when the higher notes hit, it's affecting it and reducing the gain. Oh, and I also take makeup off because I don't want the volume makeup. I just want it to get compressed when it hits that threshold. Then the other part that I love about this is the way the vocals came out. I love pulsing melodic vocals underneath my drop. It just adds like a nice kind of it just adds more melody and it fills in the space better. A lot of people use like a crowd noise or white noise, but I think like vocals pulsing are really cool. So let's see what I got going on here. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about as well with the auto pan is I have it set up so it's like a quarter note pulse, almost like you would put in like a house song. And I'll play that real quick. So it's kind of like pulsing up and down, and then it's also pulsing, this is also pulsing back and forth from left to right. So yeah, this is just a vocal chop from one of the Cymatics acapellas, and I have a little bit of reverb on here, but then when we get to the group, this EQ is not doing anything. I just must have forgotten to take that off. And I love this Hot Tubes saturation preset, which you can find right down here. It's amazing. I just love the way it like crunches things down. Multiband compression preset's always amazing. And then this is the sidechain settings I use on every single one of my groups. So I'll sidechain it to the kick and the snare, and ratio is 4, attack is 0.01 milliseconds, and the release is 22 milliseconds. And I usually play with the threshold until it's a deep enough sidechain for what I want. And then I'll duplicate it, and I'll either leave the snare or I might drag the threshold up because I don't want the song to sidechain as hard for the snare as I do the kick. And what I'll do is I'll take these 2 sidechain compressors and I'll put them on every group. So sometimes I leave the snare out just because I don't want everything pulsing out. Like sometimes I want some white noise or whatever still in the background, but for the most part, for the synths and the vocals, I'll put both the compressors on there. So alright, so that gets crunchy. So this is just a little vocal melody I made to go over those future bass chords. So I'll play that out real quick. So yeah, I really love how that sounds. It just gives it that epic little transition back into the beginning of the drop. So yeah, I have the lower and then the higher. Yep, so I think that sounds really nice. And yeah, I have the same thing going on in the second half of the drop where the where these chords are going on. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the vocals. Alright, so then also my effects. I love having nice effects. So this is one of the impacts I made. So this is it. It has like a little bit of tonality in it. I think I might have layered a horn as well when I was making the impact, like inside of the impact. And then so for the very beginning, I basically just have this impact and this white noise down, which is in the effects toolkit 1. Or yeah, it's in the effects toolkit 1. And then this is a white noise up that I made. Really just, you know, basic, but I love it. Another riser. And bass drop. So this is the reverse. So it's pitching up. Yeah. And then here's the long riser. I messed up there. I forgot to, when I remade that auto pan, I guess I forgot to duplicate this over. Yeah, so sometimes when I'm doing my breakdowns, I like to add a new element that hasn't been there before. So this element actually has been there before. This is the piano from here. So I figured I'd go back to that here. And what I love doing when I'm making my chords, especially for piano, I like to give it like a human type vibe. So not everything is right on the grid. Because when you're playing it, you know, not all of your fingers are hitting the notes at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll just drag it around wherever it feels necessary. And since a lot of times these are on the grid and these are coming late, for these top notes, not all of them are right on the grid. Just like this one is a little late, this one's a little late, they're all a little late. So yeah, that's pretty much all I did there. And then the build just repeats itself and goes back into the drop. God, I forgot, since I redid it, I need to copy it to all of them. All right, but anyway, that's basically it. That's all that went into making this track, and it might seem like a lot, but you know, the more and more you make music and do these kind of things, you'll pick it up really fast. And it may seem like it's taken a while, but that's the best part. So I mean, downloading project files like this is a great way to learn, because when you guys get this project file, you can go in, see how the patches were made, see how the MIDI chords were made, you know, see all the different automations I've done, and, you know, basically just learn how to sound design, mix, master, and arrange a song. So, I mean, it's a great tool to have. It's at your disposal. It's for free download. So definitely download this and have fun with it. And I hope you guys find a lot of useful tricks in this. But anyway, I'm Tascione. Thanks again for watching.